Okay, today we're going to start Tzaddik Samad Aleph, in the middle of the page. It says V'aleu l'tshufa. Thank Hashem that we're able to learn Torah every day. Especially for learning, we should have Beis Hamikdash. So the Gemara starts like this. Yesterday we had two opinions, Rav Chisda and Ritzvik Baradimi, about the gateway that was called the gate of Shushan Abira. Was the purpose. So we said, oh, you mentioned Rabbi Chisda and Rabbi Baradimi. Let me tell you something else about Rabbi Chisda and Rabbi Baradimi. V'aleu l'tshufa says that when the Mashiach comes, there's going to be a spring of water that's going to come out from the Beis Hamikdash, and it's going to spread out, and it's going to from the Kinneret actually, and it's going to spread out, and from it's going to come out from the Kinneret. It's going to get wider. The grass will grow on the side, and all the leaves that grow from the trees and the grass that's on the side is going to be medicinal. So Rav Chisda, Rabbi Baradimi, what medicine is it going to give us? It's going to cause mute people to be able to speak. The L'tshufa is like an acronym of Lahatir Peh. The other one said that it's going to cause barren women to be able to give birth. That's going to be its medicinal properties. Itmar, we have a statement, the same thing like Rav Chisda and Rabbi Baradimi. You have a statement of later than that, or maybe earlier than that. Chizkiah says that it's going to cause the mute to be able to speak. And Bakpara it's going to cause the barren women to be able to give birth. It's translating the word trufa, which means medicinal, but if you break up the word in Hebrew, the trufa could come from the words lahatir peh. It's like a contracted word. Let's take a look at the pasuk. The pasuk is talking about the 12 loaves. This is what we read on Shabbos. This is 27. 27. No, can't be 24/5. It's a mistake in mine. Yeah, that happens. It says over here, you will take fine flour, and you will bake it, into 12 loaves. Two esrainim will be each, two esrainim is 2/10 of an ephah, will be each loaf. Okay. And you will place them shtayim ma'arachas shesh hamarachas. You will place them into two arrangements, two stacks, 6 in each stack. Ala shulchan atar lefnei Hashem, on the shulchan atar. So we said we have a few numbers here. We have 12 loaves. We have 2 esrainim each. We have 2 arrangements, and 6 in each arrangement. Okay. So our pasuk, our Gemara, let's analyze this. It says, Ilu Nemar, if it would say, you'll take fine flour, and you'll bake it at 12 loaves, and you'll put it as 2 arrangements, which is what it said, except you don't finish off. It didn't say 6 in each arrangement. Let's say it didn't say then. I would say, I wouldn't know that it's 6 in each arrangement. I would think that maybe it's 4 and 8. Yeah, I don't know why that. Maybe it's 10 and 2. I don't know. Okay, anyway, l'kach number shesh. That's what it says. 6 to tell me how the arrangement was. Ilu number shtayim marachas shesham marachas. If it would say there was 2 arrangements and 6 in each arrangement, like number shtayim, but it didn't tell me that there were 12. You say mishalish shel shesh. I would think that maybe there's instead of 2 arrangements of 6 in each, I would have thought that maybe there's two arrangements, and then there's an arrangement of 6, which means 3 arrangements of 6. 2 plus 1. It says no. It says that's what it tells me there's 12. It tells me there's only 2 arrangements of 6. If it would say there's 12, and there's arrangements, but it wouldn't tell me that there's 2 of them, b'sheish, and that there's 6 in each arrangement. Shloisha shel arba arba. I could have thought that there's 12. How is it 12? Because there's 3 arrangements and there's 4 in each one. That equals 12. That's what it says. There's 2 arrangements and there's 6. Gemara says, okay, it's so says if I wouldn't have said this, then I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known how to do it. Okay, so how was it done? It says Nation Shtayim Marachish al Sheish. You have to have 2 arrangements of 6 each. If you had 8 on one and 6 on the other, you're not yetzer. Shtayim shel sheva sheva. Well, let's say you had 2 arrangements of 7 each. You're only supposed to have 6. You had an extra loaf. You with me? So Rebbe says, Reina sel yenikiluina. Don't worry, an extra one doesn't matter. You just imagine that it's not there. Well, you ask on Rebbe, but you have to have the frankincense, which is put on top. And if you put the frankincense on top, then it's going to be it's going to interpose between the frankincense and the top loaf, because you have an extra loaf that's on the top. Right. Right.
Didn't we learn this whole group? I mean,
Yeah,
the
7
last
years
2
ago.
days, everything's repetitive.
7 years ago.
No.
Then we didn't have
No,
the
about-
fragrance.
But how many? Yeah, we've discussed how many loaves there were, but this is like more specific in the psukim.
We're gonna go into, how they come in, picking up, switching, we also said Al is next to, that.
Yeah,
This
but that
is
the
a-
al we had before a few times.
Man, no, but I was thinking why were we going through it, and now it's sitting now. That if they did more or less, like what would happen?
Oh. Okay. So it says, you imagine that the top one isn't there. It says 1 second, but what about they have to put the frankincense on the top? Amalei Rav Chisda or Rav Hamnuna. Because it says to Rav Hamnuna, V'amri Rav Hamnuna Rav Chisda. And some say that it went the other way, the conversation. Rebbe L'Tamei, it's not a strong kasha, because this is Rebbe that says that it's kosher. If you have a 7th loaf, it says Rebbe's following his opinion. Damar al b'samach. Al doesn't mean on top. Al means next to. Remember, we had a machlekes where the frankincense was. Was it on the top of the loaf? Or was it in between the 2 stacks? Tanya was taught in a brayse to Rabbi Yemir. Rabbi says you put on top of the arrangement pure frankincense. Al b'samach. Rabbi says it means next to. Atem b'samach in al mamish. How do you know it means? Al means next to. Maybe al is supposed to mean on top. So when it says that you will cover the aron, you'll cover the aron with the parechas, with the curtain. It says, what do you mean? You put it on top? Al aron as a parechas. Al b'samach. It doesn't mean you put it on top. It means you put it next to it. We're going to be protecting it from the side. Okay. The Gemara Sukkah says that V'sakai says to hover over. So how is it hovering over? It means that it's bent over a little bit on the top. That's why it was called hovering over. But over here we're saying that it means that it was on the side. It was protecting it from the side. Anyway, Al. We're talking about Al. When I was a kid, I went once to a bris. And I remember there was someone gave a speech at this bris. It was Parsha Shemais. And he's talking about the Targum says, "Ve'ela shmeis b'nei Yisrael abam Mitzrayim." These are the names of the bnei Yisrael that came to Egypt. It says, "Ve'ilin shmas b'nei Yisrael da'alu la'ar de Mitzrayim." Alu de Mitzrayim. It says da'alu. Alu means to go up. These are names of the people that went up to Egypt. You don't go up to Egypt; you go down to Egypt. So he explained that really the going into Mitzrayim, it's a, you think you're going down, really you're going to get more than when you went. It's you read the L'Tzerach Aliyah, he gave like a whole pshat. Anyway, I looked in a dictionary when I got older. What does the alu mean? It means to enter. It doesn't mean to go up. In Hebrew, alu means to go up. In Aramaic, it means to enter. So it's cute, but it wasn't, I think, the right word.
Treats them better. Israeli Airlines, El Al, right? It takes you, but it doesn't take you to the gate. It like brings you near the gate, and then you have to get off the course. Well, at least it used to be like.
I guess El Al means to Aliyah, right? Aliyah.
I guess so.
Yeah, that was his prat. That was his prat. Right? Keep prat. Wasn't the right word. What someone say? Someone said, "What's this week's parsha?" Achri Mais. Yeah. Because how come the aleph of Achri Mais is a big aleph? Why is it a big aleph? It's not a big aleph. I said, "Oh, that's one caret." Okay. Kol hakelim sheba mikdash, all the utensils of the mikdash. We said that they went the length went with the opposite. They were. Did we say they went with? No, they went perpendicular to the room. What did the Mishnah say?
No, it's parallel.
We said they went parallel.
If it's east-west, that's the length. Base of Mikdash is from east-west.
Yeah, arkan la arkai. It was parallel. Arkan la arkai. Okay. See, it's not so simple. Taner Rabbanan was Taner Bryce Kol Kilim Shemikdash Arkan La Arkai Shel Bayis. Chutz Mi Aron Sharkel La Rachbi Shel Bayis. All the utensils of the Beis Hamikdash, they were parallel to the room that they were in. Except with the exception of that is the Aron, which was perpendicular. V'kachei Munach, and so it was placed. V'kachei Abad Menachim, and so its staffs were placed. My kamer, what does it mean? Hachi kamer. I know that that's how it's placed because I know that that's how the staffs were placed. How do you know that the staffs were placed in on the arrangement that would be perpendicular to the room? The Tanya was taught in a brisa of Yarichu Abadim. This is when Shlomo Melech built the Beis Hamikdash. It says Vayarichu Abadim. Abadim stretched out. Maybe they didn't touch the parechas. Talmud Laimar Bayiru says that they were seen. Maybe they protruded through, right? Through the bottom, protruded through the parechas, and you could see them in the outer room. Talmud Laimar Yirachutza. It says that they weren't able to be seen from outside. So Akeitzad, so how did that work? If they were seen but they weren't able to be seen. That says they were pressing against the parechas. It looked like two breasts of a woman that were protruding, not protruding out, but bulging in on the curtain. Tzrar hamar is a pocket of perfume, right? Daidili is my beloved to me. Between her breasts, he lays. Between her, Yalin, he lays. Right? Okay, Minolan the Bada of Lapusia, the Ara in Havayasvi. How do we know that okay? So far, we know that the Badim are protruding from east to west, or actually from west to east, because they're pushing out through the press. They're from pushing it. Now, how do we know that the Aron was 1.5 by 2.5. So how do we know that the bottom were on the 2.5 was between the two bottom? Maybe the 1.5 was by the bottom. I think that fellow that was coming around, there was a guy that was coming around and he built an ark. Remember that guy? I think he had it wrong. I think he had the staffs. I think we're on the what's it called? The fin side. I think if I remember correctly. He had a lot. There were a lot
That
of
would make
interesting
sense
things.
because the whole miracle, or one of the miracles of Aaron, was that the width is still, it still made it. So if you had the poles going that way, then that's like, why didn't you just discuss that miracle? I mean, you're saying already the Aaron was more than the width of. So, and nobody discusses most obviously posts going the other way, and we know it was jutting into the Baruchs.
Yeah. Question is like this. Let's say this is the Aron, right? Are the poles over here? Are the poles over here? Or are the poles over here? So, right? So either way, the poles are protruding out of so either the Aron is facing this way or the Aron is facing this way. That's the question. We said that it's perpendicular to the. So that means that the room, that the whole chamber, curtain, so that the room, the length of the room is this way. The Aron is perpendicular and the staffs are. How do we know that this was the area that there was 2.5 amos between? So it says, Rabbi Yehuda explains this. He says, Trey Gabri Bamsa Palga, if there were two people in a Amsa Palga Mistagilu, there wouldn't be enough space. We know that the Aron was carried by the Shevet, by the Kayanim from Kas, by the Levium, actually, from Kas, Shevet Kas. So they wouldn't be able to fit in between. Apparently, they would stand in the middle, with the stabs on their outer shoulder, right? So if they're standing in the middle, you need 2.5 amos in the middle for people to walk. For them, and they didn't carry it; it carried them, whatever. But whatever the case is, they needed to fit. How did we know that there were 4 people that carried it? It says it was carried by the kahasim. I guess that plural over there. Trey Naisem Mikdash. Let's see what that base is. Oh, you're supposed to take out the tray. Okay. Trey Naisem Mikdash, you take out the next tray. It says basically that maybe we're learning it from Nasu is a plural and non kahasim is plural, maybe. Whatever the case is, we know that there's 4. Do they explain in your commentaries how they know that there's 4? All right, Tan Rabbanan. Tadon Abraisa. Sarah Shulchanis Asa Shleima Melech. This sort of throws us off a little bit from the way we understood what the room that the Heichel, what it looked like, what was going on, how much furniture was there. I was in a house like this. I went to visit someone's apartment. It's like a big apartment. Anyway, there was like card tables, not like poker tables, like these round tables. 10 of them in this like dining room.
So what they
you just have to go. You just have to you have to walk through the you were imagining it's coming to a room. This big dining room table. This is like just a lot of tables all over. Okay. So,
How they paid.
So here, there's 10 tables. He put them in the Heichel. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. 5 on the right of the doorway, maybe 5 on the left of the doorway. No, you can't have the shulchan on the south. The shulchan is on the north. It says you should place the shulchan on the north. Now I know it's talking about the other shulchan, but nevertheless, you're not going to violate what it says. Rather, Moshe Rabbeinu's shulchan that he made, that was in the center. There were another 10 tables there, 5 on the right of it and 5 on the left of it. Okay, we'll learn a little more about this. Tan Rabbanan, Tan in a Brisa, Eser Menairos, Asa Shlomo. Shlomo made 10 Menairos. We thought there's one Menorah, there's 10. Shnemar Vayasas Menairos Azav, Eser, Kamishpat, Bitim Behechel, Chamishim Min of Small, 5 on the right and 5 on the left. And Taimar Chamishim Min Pesach, Chamishim Small Pesach. Maybe you'll say that there's 5 on the right of the doorway, 5 on the left of the doorway. You can't do that. You can't put the menorah on the north. The menorah is on the south. But remember this about the way to face when you're davening. But you put the face.
You go a little bit.
You go north. Right.
Money, go to left. Always davening. People think I'm facing the rabbi when I'm southeast. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Am I wrong?
That's why you've been getting all that money.
Wait a minute. I haven't been getting the money. Hold on.
You've been doing it wrong.
We faced Yaron Kaddish.
Maybe it's all the wisdom.
Wait,
you're getting all the wisdom.
The Shulchan was on the right of the Yaron Kaddish.
The Shulchan is on the.
When you're facing the Yaron Kaddish.
The Shulchan is on the left. The Shulchan is on the north.
On the north.
You've been doing southeast.
Tell me, look, wait. The Mizbeach.
I'll tell you my simon. I always remember this. They used to live in Surfside. The yeshiva that I would teach in was in the south. Bell Harbor was a face to the south, to the yeshiva. I'm facing the menorah, facing to Bell Harbor. I'm facing the money. That was my simon. Facing the left, to the north. The north is going to be the shulchan. The menorah was in the south. Here, show him the picture in the Koran. There was a picture of it.
Hold on. The Mizbeach is where? In the south, right?
No, Mizbeach is in the center. The Mizbeach is out.
But the ramp is.
Oh, you're thinking about another Mizbeach. You're thinking about the outer Mizbeach. Don't look at this. Look at this.
I'm like,
No. Okay, so 1 second. What's going on over here? Here. You walk into the chamber. You look to the right. You're gonna see all of the
tables.
Right, is that maybe that's the entrance. They did it backwards.
Pointing the wrong way.
I don't know. Hopefully a picture will come up. I'm not trusting.
Wait, just a moment. We're coming in.
No, there was a book over here.
But wait, we're coming in from the west, right? From the west. And here in the east, the Kodesh Kadoshim. Here's where the Kodesh Kadoshim is.
1 second. Yeah, that's going to be the west, right?
That's west.
Yeah.
Wait, we came in from the east.
Coming from the east.
Coming from the west. But when we daven, we point to the east. We're pointing to the other side.
So.
Or just because you show.
No, that's just because of Yerushalayim.
Okay,
Anyway.
so this is on the west side. You just said. So.
Just down to the east and you'll be
So
fine.
north is over there.
Oh, I get what's happening. Because I understand what's happening. Because
good, I'm glad you understand, because I
there,
know what's happening.
They were facing, when you walked in, they were facing they're facing west. You're facing east. So what's happening is when the menorah you're facing you're doing it by the right and left. You're not doing it by the north and south. It's the opposite. The north and south is the opposite, and because of the way we face.
So if I want to face the shulchan, I should be a little northeast, not southeast.
You want to face the shulchan. The shulchan is B'tzafin is the north, right?
So I've been facing
The wrong way.
But let's get the
Well,
whole
where's the
Mishnah.
money? Show me
Where's-
the money then. I thought I'm getting wisdom all this time.
You got both.
You don't have a full picture of the whole thing in here. Yeah. Just have the kalim. I want to see the whole picture of the whole. Yeah. See, here's a picture of the.
Right,
When you
so I'm
entered in,
thinking from walking in, and the shulchan's on my right, and that's
Right.
why I keep on pointing to the right. But it's really, I'm davening from the behind the
Right.
the Kodesh Kedoshim direction wise to face east. That's why.
Haritza, that's what it says. Haritza
That's how you've been
sheyachkim
getting all this money.
yadrim. It doesn't say face to the right or to the left. It says someone that wants to get wise faces south. South. So Okay.
Been doing it. Waiting for the money. Maybe I should buy a lottery ticket.
The Kabbalah also.
So Tana Rabbanan, right? We have Tana Rabbanan some menayos such Shleima made 10 menayos. Remember Vyasa some menayos Zav Asa Kamishbad Vitim Behechal Chamishim Chishim Lutem Chamishim. Okay. Ateres El Menayra Neicha Chashulchan. You can't put the menayra on the north no, I'm sorry. You can't put the he made 10. That's what he did. He made 10. In Taimer Chamishim in Kematzin Menayra Batzafan. The menayra would be on the north. It is on the north. No. The shulchan is on the north. The menayra is on the south. When they're walking, the menayra is on the south. Okay, the menayra is on the south. So Ella Shmamina Ella Shel Moshe B'Emtza Chamishim and Chamishim Ismaila. Rather the menorah on the south had 5 on each side of it of Shlomo Melech's 10.
You just face northeast to face the menorah. Oh,
No,
but
the
again,
shulchan is on the north. The menorah is on the south. Think of the yeshiva in South Beach.
but the menorah is the one for wisdom.
Menorah is wisdom.
Wisdom is
Think it, West Palm Beach, or Palm Beach, where all the money is. Okay, that's north.
north.
Yeshiva is in South Beach. That's where the
Okay,
wisdom
I'm
is.
getting angry now.
Okay,
You're facing the adult.
so
No, I want to face the issue. I want again. If you have the knowledge, you know how to make the dough.
there was one brisa that taught Michatzi Bayis Lefnim Hayu Menachem, that it was halfway. When you would walk into the sanctuary, you'd have to walk half through the sanctuary to reach the kalim, the mizbeach, and the shulchan, and the menorah. Anichad mishlish habayis lefnim hayu menachem. One says that they were 1/3. They were all contained in 1/3 of the house. The Gemara says v'lei kasha. It's not a problem because Marka Chashav Beis Kodesh Kadashim Hadiyechel, Marka Chashav Beis Kodesh Kadashim Hadiyechel. You see, the Heichel was 60 am. The entire room was 60 amas. It was divided by the last 20 being the Kodesh HaKadoshim. It's called the Dvir, the last 20. So if you say that if you don't count the Kodesh HaKadoshim, so then everything was within the second 20 amas. So it was halfway through, right? Because the whole thing was 40, then the second 20. Didn't have to buy it. If you say that you count the Kodesh HaKadoshim, then everything was within the middle third, because it depends if you count it or not. Okay. This following Gemara is we're going to learn a machlekes of which way the menorah was facing. Was the menorah perpendicular to the heichal? Was it facing north? Was the menorah north, south to north, or was the menorah going east to west? If the menorah is east to west, so then I have a ner maravi. If it's south to north, then the whole menorah is facing in front of the Kodesh HaKodashim. The Gemara is going to explain that according to that opinion, it's going to be a machlek. The Gemara is going to explain that the center one, the wick, was facing towards the Kodesh HaKodashim. Other ones, the wicks were facing inward. So that's a discussion. And the Rebbe in his notebooks, he has something called Rishimas HaMenorah. Over there, he explains the difference in Avodas Hashem, each of these opinions, like which one. Okay, Taner Rabbanan, Mizbeach. I'm sorry, Mizrach Hamayrav Hayim Menachem. They were facing east to west. Divrei Rebbe, that's Rebbe's opinion. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon and Mitzafim V'Daran. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon says no, they were north and south. My time with the Rebbe. What's Rebbe's opinion where he says that they were east to west? He says Gomer mi Menorah. He's talking about the Shulchanos, talking about the tables over here. He says we're going to learn from the Menorah. Ma Menorah Mizrach Hamayrav, just like the Menorah was east to west, that he takes it for granted. That was east to west. Afani Nami Mizrach Hamayrav. So to the tables we're facing. Tables were 2 by 1, 1 by 2, 1 amma by 2 amma was the table, right? So to the tables were east to west. But Menorah Gufim Minal, and where did Rebbe get it from that the Menorah is east to west? Mileksev Ner Rabbi Yarech Chesei Aaron Lefnei Hashem. There's Aaron arranged in front of Hashem, talking about the Ner Maravi, the western candle. Michlal de Bekulu Lav Lefnei Hashem. That means that all of them are not Lefnei Hashem. It's got to be one. That's the closest, right? But if you would say it's north and south, Kulun Nami Lefnei Hashem. They're all in front of Hashem, right? They're all equally there. Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon, in my time, what's the reason for Rabbi Elazar bar Shimon? Gomer mi Aaron. He learns from the Aaron. Ma Aaron Tzafim V'Darim. Afani Nami Tzafim V'Darim. Just like the Aaron was the length of the Aaron was north to south, right? So too the Shulchanos were north to south. It says okay, Rebbe Nami Ligmar. Why doesn't Rebbe learn from the Aaron? It says Dan Chutz Michutzmin, Dan Chutz Lefnim. The Aaron wasn't even in that room. The Aaron was in the inner chamber. It was in the Dvir. It was in the Kodesh HaKodashim. Elazar bar Shimon Ligmar Menorah. Why doesn't Elazar bar Shimon learn the Menorah? It's in the same room. Amlach Menorah Gufei Tzafim V'Daran Have Mancha. He says, what do you mean? The Menorah itself was north-south. Elo Haksiv Yarach Aaron Avanav. It says Aaron Avanav should arrange it in front of Hashem. If it's north-south, then the whole Menorah is in front of Hashem, not just that one there. It says Mitzad that they made the wicks going to the sides, and then only the middle one would go towards the. See the picture in Rashi, Menorah. Rashi's picture. It's not the Chabad Menorah. That's it. What did someone say? He said he was learning a piece of Gemara. He said it was a Taisvis. He couldn't figure it out. He was so frustrated. He said, "I'm going to tear out the whole page." He said, "But what about on the other side? You liked all those things that." It says, woe is to the wicked and woe to the neighbor. Anyway. The shul, they do, what are you saying? When they light a Hanukkah menorah, which has nothing to do with this, but when they light a Hanukkah menorah, they light the menorah from it's facing east to west. Correct. East to west. So is that because they want to copy where it was in the base of Migdash, where it was east to west, according to the opinion of Rebbe? Maybe.
I just asked ChatGPT to make a picture, and it ended up making it north-south. Isn't that interesting?
What's the other one?
The menorah.
The menorah made it. No, it made it east-west.
No. Look where the shulchan is. That's
You do that
the,
after
I mean, the
class.
Mizbeach,
You please do
they're
that after
showing the
class.
top of the Mizbeach.
You have no idea
That
what's been
big
going on.
thing is Mizbeach.
What's the little table?
That's the shulchan on the other side of the Mizbeach. So,
It's so bad.
yeah, see, you can't trust ChatGPT. Who can you trust? Can't trust.
I think you should ask ChatGPT if you can trust them. Everyone
I
just
gotta
asks
ask that. Hold
ChatGPT
on
all their
one second.
questions.
I gotta ask that.
It will tell you itself.
Hey, ChatGPT, can we really trust you? Let's see what this.
It's gonna say no.
Ella,
Can we enjoy this program after class?
the Tanya, son in the Bryson.
You shouldn't just trust me
Exactly.
blindly.
Tanya,
This is honest.
some computer guy told me that they actually intentionally lie to you. They don't like you because it's a personality,
Oh yeah.
and it's very childish. And if you don't like praise it and this, it will actually intentionally lie.
Yeah, I learned that.
They need subscribers.
I learned that from my son, who,
crazy.
When he asks questions, who go so in depth. I said, "Why do you talk like that?" He says, "He knows my personality." I have to-
Tanya, son in the Bryson, towards the face of the menorah, the seven candles will be burning. So it shows, teaching us that the wicks were facing the middle candle. Amar Rab Nassan says, Mikan Shem Tzoi Meshubach. It's coming to tell me that the middle aliyah is the best aliyah. What this means is that when they would give 3 aliyahs on a Monday, Thursday, so you have to read 10 psukim. So you have the 10 psukim means that 3, 4, 3, or 3, 3, 4, or 4, 3, 3. Where do you put the 4? Put it in the middle. That's what it says. You put the 4 in the middle. According to the one that says that it was Mizrach and Ma'irav that the Shulchanis went.
Wait, is that why people think there were beings?
I don't know.
I always thought that was from baseball. The guy who's up for,
If you say it's Mizrach and Ma'irav, that all the Shulchanis went from east to west, that meant that they went. They were the length of they were parallel to the way the room went. Hanadabi Yasve Asara the Esrim. How did you get 10 tables and 20 amas? Okay, the answer is because each table was 2 amas. So 10 tables in one row would be 20 amas. Great. But according to the opinion that it went perpendicular to the room, Yud B'chaf, Hechavi Yasvi. How could you get 10 tables in the 20 amas? You're thinking it's going to go straight across the whole room. The whole room is 20 amas. You're going to block the whole room with the 10 tables. How would the Kayanim get in there? You're going to have 5 of them. Are going to be on the south. You weren't supposed to do that on the south. The shulchan was supposed to be on the north. So shulchan the Maseches Menachos. Where did they put? You said that the Moshe's table was in the center. How they put it in the center? If it was one row going there, the Gemara asked the other way. If you say that even that it's east-west, where did you put Moshe's table? Yeah, you need an extra 2 amas. It's going to be 22 amas. You thought that it's all in one row? All 10 tables are in one row? No, they made 2 rows.
The fourth batter up back in my time was Yogi Berra.
Don't make me buzz
After
you.
Mickey Mantle.
Don't make me buzz you.
My wife last night finds a mint autographed baseball, gives it to me, and it was Yogi Berra. So he was in my mind.
We move on, please.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, you know what? You're such a dud. You want to move on? Come to the shir, baby.
Stop taking it out on people.
So
I still love you.
let me just tell you, since you already started changing the way you're davening, the money's coming in from that baseball. So, Nisavris Chad Dara Trade Darin, it was in 2 rows. Okay, we're on page 99. Bishleim Laman Damar Safin Vidarin Shopper. If you say that it went from north, what do they have over there? They have pictures. Oh, pictures of the whole thing. Let me see that. Does that explaining this Gemara? Or is that
Ooh,
no? I'm actually gonna need the next page for the pictures.
which page?
The bottom.
I need to use this thing.
Would have been nice if they had it.
If you say it's north south, that they were going north south means that the tables were going across. Not giving me the.
Fits with no problem.
Yeah, I'll
North,
show you.
south, it
We'll
doesn't
read it
fit
through. You'll
east,
see.
west.
We'll see how it goes. According to the opinion that says it goes north south, which means that it's perpendicular to the room. So then we have 2 rows, right? So we have 5 and 5. So it works out well. If it's going parallel to the room, so are we going to push the tables all the way to the wall? All 5 tables against the wall? No. You have to move it 2.5 amas because we said that there were people that needed to get in to bring the lechem upon him. Remember that? So they had to walk. How does it take? How many people? How much space does two people take up? 2.5 amas. Remember? So by carrying the aron, we said you need 2.5 amas to have 2 people there. So you need 2.5 amas. And then you have its own amma because the table was an amma. And we're talking about 5 tables here. And then you need 2.5 amas. And then you have Moshe Rabbeinu's. And then you have 2.5 amas in between Moshe Rabbeinu's, the Beni Beni. And then you have the amma of the last 5, the second 5 with the center 5. Shdakach comes out, the Kachal Shulchan, Palga Damsa Bedarim. It comes out that the Shulchan is going to be a half am on the south. On the south. Let me just explain. We're dividing the room in half. The room was 40 amas by 20 amas. Okay, 20 amas is 40 amas long, 20 amas wide. If the tables and everything was contained within 20 by 10, because it's in half of it's only contained in half of this, and it's only going halfway this way because the other side, the south side, is going to be where the menorah is. You can't put it on that side. It needs to be on the north side. Okay, now if I have 2.5 amas space between the wall and the table, 2.5 amas space between the table and Moshe Rabbeinu's table, which is in the center. Then I have 2.5 amas space between Moshe Rabbeinu's table and the second row of 5 tables. So I have 2.5 times 3 would be 7.5, right? Then I have the 1 amma for 3 tables, 5 Moshe and 5. So 7.5 plus 3 is going to be 10.5. Now that means that you're protruding into the other side, into the south side, a half an amma. The Gemara says, Shulchan the Moshe Bahadayo Abba Yosef. Do you think that Moshe Rabbeinu's table was in the center? Like it looks over here, like in the pictures, it's in the center? No. Loi, the midlele, it was hanging in the front. The manachle, mitzele, the day porta, Talmud Yeshua Rabbi. It's like a student that's in front of the teacher. There's probably like Talmidim Hayeshav Lifnei Rabbi. It's like the students that are sitting in front of the teacher. The teachers are up there at the front, Moshe Rabbeinu's, and then all the tables, the students in the rows that are down. So it wasn't in the center. So therefore, you only needed 2.5 amas, the tables, 2.5 amas, the tables, and then you're done. It's not the whole thing is going to be 7 amas.
So it's similar when we learned in Sanhedrin, except there was curved.
Yeah, but here we're just dealing with tables, right?
What were these tables used for?
I don't know what the tables were used for. They were just, for sure. You see, look at what the Brisa says. The first opinion says there's going to be another opinion, but the first opinion says that they only put the bread on the one of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Shulchan Asher Alav Lechem Apanim Zahav. Okay, Shulchan Asher Alav Lechem Apanim Zahav. The table, there was one table that had on it the lechem upon him. That was Moshe's. Shlomo Melech made 10 candelabras, menorahs, but they only lit Moshe's. Menorah says of an levar be'erev. That means there was just one menorahs. It doesn't say menorahs. Okay. Rabbi Lezer ben Shemua Aimer. Tell me again. No, the menorahs were not on the tables. Menorahs were freestanding, on the floor.
It was the men's section. They don't put
Here. The Rabbi Elazar ben Shmuel Amar al kulam hayim masad shem besar shulchanis v'aleim lechem apanim u'bekulam hayim adlikim shem v'sam menorahs v'nirseim levarim kamishon l'fnei advir zav sagar. He says exactly the opposite. He quotes a psukim in Divrei Yamim that say the tables had on them lechem apanim. He says the menorahs that were all lit. Rabbi Yosi bar Yehuda malayim masajin el shel Moshe. It says no. They arranged it on Moshe. Mani mekayim v'asher shulchanis. What do you do with the pasuk that says the tables asher leim lechem apanim zav? Elu shleisha shulchanis sheva mikdash. There were 3 tables in the mikdash. Shnayim haya ba'ulam mibifnim. LePesach abayis. Echad shel kesef, echad shel zav. You have to take out shalifnei. It's not mibifnim. Okay, there's a correction over there. Or al pesach habayis maybe. Echad shel kesef, echad shel zav. Also kesef neis lechem apanim k'nisas. Also zav b'tzias yishmael l'makedesh b'leim meridin. Echad shel zav b'fnim shel lav lechem apanim tam. It says on the way into the sanctuary there was a hallway. It was called the ulam. There was like the top of the tea, the room. So like the tea at the top. In there were 2 tables. One was silver, one was gold. On their way in to the arranging the bread, they would put them down to rest over there on the silver table. Then they would bring it into and then on the way out they would put it on the golden one. You always move upwards. You start with silver, the next one is going to be gold. Minola and Dein Meridin, how do you know that? That you never go lower. Okay. How does this show me that in Meridin?
What? What's the question?
It says that Moshe, how do you know that it's Ein Meridin? It says Moshe set up the Mishkan. It says Vayakam. Okay. It says at the end, Vayakam esamudav, and he stood up the pillars. Minol and the Mailim, that's where you see Ein Meridin. How do you know that you go upwards? Originally, what happened was the Kairach's men brought Ketairas. What do they do with those fire pans? They beat them down. They made them as a covering for the Mizbeach, which means originally they were used just as fire pans. Now they become part of the Mizbeach. It means that they go up. Asher shibarta v'samtim barem. Tani Rabbi Yosef says the ones that you broke, the luchas that you broke, you place them in the aron. Rabbi Yosef says, there's a Gemara Brachas also, Malamich shivrei aluchas. Here you see the shivrei aluchas, the broken luchas, compared to a Talmud Chacham that lost his memory, and you put them right next to the real luchas, right? The ones not the real, they're both real. One's broken, one's not. So you put them next to the other ones to tell us that you still have to respect the Talmud Chacham that lost his memory. On Shabbos, Yitzi Shvalta was talking about the Chassidim that they would they forgot if they daven, they would daven again. When they got older, the dementia, whatever, so they would end up davening a second time. He said a story that someone always thought a Chassidish lady, she always thought it was Shabbos. When she was older, she would yell at her son for turning the light on in the middle of the week. She says, "It's Shabbos. What did I raise? What are you doing?" So someone came to visit. He said, "Look, I go to a lot of shiva houses. By the Chassidim, it's always Shabbos. By the other people, it's whatever." Okay, we're holding by Yomri Shlakish. Shlakish says, "Let's leave it over here. Everybody, Shlakish on the bottom of the page. Shmaka Gemara coming up. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
Sorry about the interruptions today.
I'm not sorry.
Sorry about the interruptions.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, have a good
sorry.
day.